Hello, good afternoon. Meteorologist Ethan Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center for our Thursday edition of 19 at Noon, our weekday weather show sponsored by Cost Saver. And we are looking at a beautiful forecast at hand, and with that, comfortable air. This is my kind of weather. I love whenever you have summertime, dew points in the 50s, highs in the 70s and low 80s. You can't go wrong with it. Great to be outside in these kind of conditions. I know some of you like the heat. You like the humidity. We've got some of that in the forecast, though I will say it does not look to be overly hot, if that makes any sense. So we are looking at, again, a forecast that mainly has highs in the 80s here in the tri-state, and several days where we are looking relatively dry, but we do have rain chances coming up in that updated 7-day forecast. We'll show you all that here in just a moment, but I want to let you know that we are live wherever you stream. We're live on the 24/7 weather streaming channel. We're live on Fox19.com, the Fox 19 News and First Alert weather app. We're live on Facebook. We can have comments or questions. You can feel free to join us there at Fox 19. Also on my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX. And we're also live, of course, on YouTube. Now, eventually, YouTube will have questions and comments there as well, but right now, just taking it one step at a time. So we're only looking at comments and questions on the Facebook page. But hey, I want to point this into your direction first of all. This just came out earlier this morning at around 8 a.m. and the drought monitor pulls in data during the week. The data comes in on Tuesday, so it's a couple of days delayed with the results, but it does get released on Thursday, and this is the U.S. drought monitor, which does have the moderate drought conditions further off to the north and east. So what this means for us here in the Fox 19 Now viewing area is improvement with the drought conditions. Now, it's not great, but it's not bad. So we still have abnormally dry conditions for the bulk of the Fox 19 Now viewing area, but the moderate drought that we had over top of us no longer in the picture. The exception to that is Robertson County and then also northern portions of Warren and Clinton counties under moderate drought conditions. But it has been improved because of those showers, those storms we've had over the last week. And, I mean, heck, yesterday we had that rain move through, those scattered showers. Meteorologist Catherine Bodak, as well as Chief Meteorologist Steve Horsemeyer, were tracking those in the afternoon and in the evening. Nothing severe came out of it, but it did dump in some rain. Batavia had just under a half an inch of rainfall there. The Lunken Airport, more than a tenth of an inch of rain. Just under a tenth of an inch of rain towards Oxford and in Middletown. Those are officially from the airports there. And then when it comes to the Kentucky Mesonet sites from Western Kentucky University, for Northern Kentucky, Vanceburg takes the highest count at 1/1600ths of an inch of rainfall there. A tenth of an inch of rain in Owen County, and then Carrollton, Alexandria, and Maysville, just under a tenth of an inch of rain. And from Coco Ross volunteer observers with the National Weather Service, they had rainfall reports, especially over towards Highland and Adams counties, greater than an inch. Seaman over in northern Adams County had 1.58 inches of rain. Columbia, Indiana, which is in Fayette County, had just under 8/10ths of an inch of rainfall there. Withamsville and Williamsburg both having just over a half an inch of rain. And in other locations, from Hamersville towards Max South, which is in Hamilton County, Cherry Fork, Villa Hills, and Bright, Indiana, under a half of an inch of rain, but greater than a quarter of an inch of rain. So we've had that moisture, much needed moisture here over top of us. So I just want to give you that update. The drought conditions have improved by quite a bit. And if you're heading out here this midday, getting a bite to eat, or maybe you've got half the day off if you're playing hooky, good for you if you can do that. But traffic conditions looking a-okay. Just a couple of slowdowns in your typical spots over towards I-71, 75 at 275, also near the Cut in the Hill, right across the Brent Spence Bridge. This time of the day, that's very usual. And then also some slowdowns towards the Lachlan Split. Other than that, we're not looking at kind of major issues or concerns on any of the major highways here in the tri-state. Now, radar, of course, it is quiet. We had some of those clouds earlier this morning over to the east of I-71. They've been eroding, moving off to the south and east. So still some cloud cover this midday over towards Adams, Lewis, Mason counties, but everyone else now looking at abundant sunshine. And on a wider scope, you can see a large portion of the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes regions now looking really dry. It's because all the way up here we've got high pressure. over towards Iowa. And that high pressure, what it's doing is it's giving us some of that cooler, comfortable air out of the north and west. And when you have that cool Canadian air, it lowers the humidity and keeps those temperatures down. So it's a cooler air mass over top of us, which will eventually recover, get warm again, but next few days is going to be quite nice. So take a look at the temperatures across the region here, and then we'll dive into the forecast here in moments. Take a look at the Facebook comments and questions we have on the Fox 19 Facebook page, and then also my Facebook page. But first, we will begin on the Fox 19 Facebook page. Jeff says, fall is my time, or some snow, don't like the heat though. Hey, I'm with you, Jeff. Must be a Highland County thing. I don't know. But we do have nice, comfortable air. Highs in the upper 70s today. We're at 75 right now, but today's high right around 79, 80 degrees or so. But yeah, fall is my favorite season, and I'm looking forward to some of the cool nights and mild afternoons. My buddy Devin says, I like the tie. Thank you, Devin. It's a magenta tie. I got this tie at, believe it or not, I believe it was Marshall's, and I got it for $8. It's a Michael Kors tie, so feel very lucky with that. I get most of my clothing at low cost stores like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, thrift stores even, but it's nice to have that. Susan, we are living in a desert in Blanchester. Yeah, I know. There's some areas that really do need the rain for gardeners, folks who are in agriculture. And so we are looking at, a pretty dry forecast for the next few days, but we do have some rain chances next week. And the rain we've been dealing with has not been favorable for all these locations to really get that moisture it needs. Now, it has relieved it, as I said, the drought monitor, but it's not great. It's just not bad in that regard. Looking at my Facebook page real quick, at Ethan Emery WX, to see if I have any comments or questions there. I do not have any questions or comments, so we will continue. Brenda says, perfect weather for me. Have a great day. You as well, Brenda. But yeah, right now, 75 here in Cincinnati. You can see still ahead of that front, which is now crossing over the Appalachian Mountains. 84 in Richmond, 85 over towards Charlotte, North Carolina, 86 down in Birmingham, Alabama. And here is the real kicker, is we are looking at those dew points to measure the moisture in the air. And you can see that sticky air mass ahead of that cold front in the 70s towards Richmond, Charlotte, even Birmingham in the upper 60s there with the dew points. But for us, that drier, cooler air mass over top of us with those dew points in the mid-50s. And right now, we still got the low 70s over towards Batavia, 72. 72 also towards Batesville and in Harrison, 73 in the Middletown and Lebanon, 76 at the Lunken Airport, 73 in Falmouth. And the dew points, the measure of the moisture in the air here at home in the 50s. Now, I know I'm saying, hey, it's a beautiful, comfortable day. Some folks may not agree with that, but I will say folks who probably agree with that with me more than anybody else is folks who work outside in construction or working outdoor jobs for a large portion of the day. July and August are usually your sweltering days here in the Ohio Valley. And to get days like this is, you don't have it for very long. So a day like today, you get to at least enjoy your job a little bit more than usual because you got the more comfortable air mass over top. So heat index values, not an issue at all for us today. And the winds, if you're in the shade, you might notice a little bit of a cool breeze with that, around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Might see a gust close to 20, but nothing more than that for us here this afternoon or this evening, for that matter. So I showed this map earlier this morning on the Morning X as well as at the 11 o'clock news hour. I'm filling in today for meteorologist Catherine Bodak, kind of a last-minute thing, but I'm always happy to fill in to help out the First Alert Weather Team whenever I can. But today we got a high of 73 up towards Cleveland, 80 in Columbus, 76 in Indianapolis, 84 in Lexington, 87 down into Nashville. A lot more cloud cover there, still humid down into the Tennessee Valley, right along the Cumberland River in downtown Nashville. And there are quite a bit of events here into the Tri-State. We'll begin with one this evening that's over at Riverbend Music Center right off of I-275 at Kellogg Avenue. Dan and Shay, mostly sunny and mild. Dan was actually, because Frank wasn't aware of who Dan and Shay were, and Frank had a recording, or I guess he looked up a YouTube video of Dan and Shay, and pretty popular. 78 degrees at 7 o'clock with, again, that abundant sunshine. So the forecast models, not much to show you. I mean, you can see behind me. Things are looking clear for tonight. And then Friday, a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures will be in the lower 80s for your Friday. And then Saturday also looks dry. And with some of the other events taking place, let's take a look at one of those. We've got the over in Middletown, the Ohio Challenge. That is hot air balloons that are taking place there in Middletown. Friday, 82, Saturday, 86. Both days sunny and also looking comfortable. And then we also have the St. Cecilia Festival, and that's over at the St. Cecilia Parish. And again, the weekend looks really nice. Now, Sunday, looking at a few more clouds, a little bit warmer too. In fact, Sunday is the warmest day of the 7-day forecast, as we are looking at highs into the mid-80s. Now, the muggy meter, we're going to show you that here shortly. That does show us eventually that we are looking at more humidity moving into the Fox 19 Now viewing area, and that's going to be next week, Monday afternoon into Monday evening, continuing into Tuesday. Sticky air will be back here into the tri-state. But until then, looking at our long-range computer model, Frank Marzullo showed you this earlier this morning on Fox 19, and that is high pressure. It's in control. We showed you where it was on the map, and it's near Iowa. So what's going to do is it's going to sink its way into the Great Lakes region and eventually into the Ohio Valley region and give us that nice northwest flow, eventually northeast flow, and then easterly winds heading into your Sunday. And that's going to keep things dry for us. Although, do note that there is some activity here over towards the central into the high plains. That'll eventually make its way through here, but that won't be until Monday. In fact, what we'll do now is show you that 7-day forecast. I updated this not too long ago. And then what we'll do is look at some of those comments and questions if we have those, and then look beyond the 7-day forecast and then begin to wrap this up, because we've got to get ready for Now the Natty at 12:30. And we've got to get some other stuff updated. I'll be live, of course, at 3 o'clock here on Fox 19 and 4 o'clock, and then Chief Meteorologist Steve Horsemeyer at 5 p.m. But the 7-day forecast, again, I updated this not too long ago, so these changes are fairly new if you didn't get the chance to watch earlier this morning. So here it is. You see those high temperatures, 82 for your Friday, and notice the morning low. Morning low on Friday morning, 57. So yeah, I am for sure opening my windows up this evening, getting that nice cool air and that nice fresh air. And leave it open for Friday too. 82 for a high, not bad. 60 for a morning low on Saturday. 86 for an afternoon high on your Saturday. And then Sunday, we got some cloud cover moving in, but a little bit more humid, but not bad. It's manageable. 87 for the end of the weekend. Monday, afternoon and evening storms. High of 85, morning lows in the mid-60s, and then more storm chances for Tuesday and Wednesday. Highs in the low 80s, morning lows in the mid to upper 60s. Now, I know the question's going to come up. I haven't even looked at the comments yet, but I'm sure at some point we'll have that question, and it's okay. That's why we have the Facebook comments open. Do the storms next week look strong or severe? The answer right now is no. In fact, it just looks like your summertime storm pattern here. And what I always tell people, and it's not always true, but it's kind of it's the first indicator as a viewer watching the 7-day forecast. If you see a big change in temperatures, that means there could be a lot of forcing. What that means is there could be a day of strong winds, could be a day of storms, that could be on the stronger side, but it's not always the case. And as you can see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there's not a big change in temperatures. Yeah, it's a little bit cooler, but it's because there's a lot more cloud cover and there's rain. That's going to limit the high temperatures. But we still have scattered showers and storms, so of course, looking at rain, much needed rain. And I will say Tuesday and Wednesday, there are some questions as to whether or not that's going to be a steady all-day rain versus maybe some pop-up chances, but most of the day it's dry. Right now, we're just going to call it scattered, but models are going back and forth on how widespread the rain will be. I mean, hey, we'll take the rain however much we get, but do want to point out that we're not looking at anything strong or severe through the middle of next week. So now what we'll do is take a look at some of those Facebook comments and questions, and we've got some more coming in. So we'll take a look at that here in just a moment. Somebody's asking about Cincinnati. Weather today is beautiful. High of 79, sunshine, low humidity. Jeff saying Highland County has not seen much rain. Yeah, I hear you. My dad's been telling me that, waiting for more rain, and we got it next week, beginning Monday afternoon and evening. Susan, it would be awesome to have this kind of weather for the rest of the summer. I don't mind it a bit either myself. Now, I want a few warm days to go in the pool, but yeah, does not look to be overly saturated with humidity. I'll take that. Nicole, hope next week isn't too wet. It's fair week. Oh, what fair are you referring to, Nicole? I know we're beginning to go into fair seasons where every county, community tends to have a fair or festival of some sort. So what fair is it? Some folks may not be aware of all the fairs that are going to be available next week. Jordan says, hey, Ethan. Hey to you, Jordan. Nicole, okay, Claremont County. I live in Claremont County. I should know better. I'm sure I've missed it on the signs, but thanks, Nicole. Yeah, so Claremont County Fair next week. Monday, you might be able to get away with going out there for a large majority of the day to stay dry, but Monday evening, we are looking at chances for showers and storms. Looking at my Facebook page, at Ethan Emery WX. And let us see. I don't have any comments or questions there. So we will go ahead and continue on with the forecast. And again, we're going to have to cut this off around 12:20 just for allowing our folks for 19 or now in the Natty to be able to do their broadcast at 12:30. So we go ahead and continue. And so again, here is that 7-day forecast. You can see we do have those storm chances Monday afternoon and Monday evening, Tuesday and Wednesday here, the 7 days. So that's the forecast here for the next 7 days. Now look beyond the 7-day forecast at the climate outlook. And so once the computer loads, it's been having a little bit of hiccups today, but we're going to make it through. It's going to be just fine. And so here it is, the next 8 to 14 days. We've got a near normal temperature outlook here across the Ohio Valley region. And so what that means is that highs will be in the mid to upper 80s and lows will be in the mid to upper 60s. So we are looking at a return to normalcy going into, well, the next 2 weeks. So going to the end of July. So this will be taking us into, double check this before so this is going past the Cincinnati Music Festival all the way into the beginning weekend, the first weekend of August. So, wow. Hard to believe we're talking about August, which means we're talking about back to school and football season. I like one of those two things. Take a guess which one. The 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, we are looking at an increase of probability of moisture here in the Ohio Valley region and portions of the Appalachia region. And hey, we'll take that, right? And I will say that on the 7-day forecast, those rain chances that show up on Tuesday and Wednesday, it continues into the following weekend. So that may not bode well for folks who want to go to the Cincinnati Music Festival, but it doesn't look like a complete washout at this time. But it looks like we are looking at some soaking rain, some much needed rain at that. And then looking at the 3 to 4 week outlook, which takes us all the way into the first half of August, temperatures look to be near normal. So we're not looking at any major heating effect to take place, not looking at kind of big cool down taking place with the next 3 to 4 weeks. With that, we also have moisture present in the area. Does not mean we're looking at all the soaking rain we may need, but any amount does help. And so that's looking all the way for 1 month from now. So that is the forecast, and kind of nice, kind of quiet. Looking really nice here today with that high up to 79 degrees and sunshine, low humidity, morning lows in the mid 50s for your Friday morning. Friday afternoon highs will be in the low 80s, and then over the weekend, mid 80s, looking dry, looking pleasant. But then next week, humidity does return along with storm chances. So that'll do it here. It's 12:20. We're going to have to wrap things up. But thank you all so much for joining us here on this Thursday edition of 19 at Noon. Here is a view of the Clovernut Country Club camera. We don't always show this view, but it is a beautiful view. It's always worth showing. Yeah, right now it's 75 here in Cincinnati. Going to make it up into those upper 70s and the low 80s. A nice breeze out there too. So again, thank you all so much for joining us on this Thursday edition of 19 at Noon.